this anagram
Hello
from
there,
the clues
everybody.
challenge
Michael
says I should
here,
go check out
playing
the
Nancy
thermostat at
Drew,
the old town
Alibi
hall.
in Ashes. This is the speedrun for the game. Alibi in Ashes takes about 4 hours to complete, more like 5 or 6 hours if you're playing the game for the first time. And the speedrun is about 58 minutes long, so I managed to beat the game in about a quarter of the time that it normally takes to beat the game. For this puzzle, all you have to do is turn the crates on their sides. That is the fastest way to get through this puzzle.
I'm trapped. Time to get out of
Basically,
here.
the first 10 to 15 minutes or so of the speedrun are not very fun to speedrun. They're basically just playing this game very quickly. Later on, you're going to have more variety in the speedrun. Nancy is going to be able to go to all sorts of different places. Well, no, Nancy's not going to be able to go to all sorts of different places. Nancy's going to be in jail. However, we are going to have the opportunity to go to different places and solve different plot lines and do different things. That's when it gets more interesting. Here, though, for the first 15 minutes, you just have
Nancy Drew.
lots of cutscenes and linear gameplay.
Inside the building.
What were you doing there?
Okay, so here, obviously, the way to get through the conversation quickly is by picking the shorter responses.
The way the fire was burning.
I don't know.
What was the color of the smoke?
Black.
Did you notice anything else out of the ordinary?
Choosing black instead of gray saves you about 0.18 seconds. Fun fact.
When I came out of the building, emergency crews were already arriving.
I basically just checked the sound files to see how long they were in order to figure out which responses were shorter.
There you have it.
And here's another cutscene.
City icon, rendered speechless. And speechless is the word of the day as onlookers struggle to come to terms with the brazen destruction of the beloved town hall by none other than
Okay,
the
I
girl
need a close-up of
detective
a
they
wheel
had once
right about
trusted
now.
their
There
lives
we
and
go,
livelihoods
close-up of
to.
a wheel.
Truly a sad
Yeah, I
day
was
for
just
River
thinking,
Heights.
what does this
With
shot
Heights 9
need?
News,
And I
I'm
thought,
Brenda Carlson.
wheel time.
Back to you, Jim.
Definitely.
I still can't believe that happened. You could have been really hurt.
Keeping it wheel with Nancy
no one else
Drew.
is there.
Did you even see what started the fire?
Yeah, it was really strange. There was a snowflake-shaped ice cube on the thermostat. Oh, hang on. There's someone at the door. Chief McGinnis?
Hey, Chief.
My hands are tied here, Nancy.
His hands are
What are you
tied,
talking
and Nancy's
about?
hands are going to be
Nancy
put
Drew,
in
you're
handcuffs,
under arrest
because
for arson
despite Chief
in connection with
McGinnis's
the town hall fire.
awesome
I
mustache
had
power,
nothing to do with
he
that.
cannot prevent Nancy
You have the right
from
to
being
remain
arrested.
silent. Anything you say or do can and will be held against you in the court of law. You have the right to speak to an attorney.
Okay, so Nancy gets fingerprinted and has her pictures taken. Those are those sound
You're free
effects.
to make a call.
And here's another cutscene of Nancy calling her father. This is why I said earlier on that the first 10 or 15 minutes or so are really boring to speedrun. It's mostly just cutscenes and things you can't
Hi,
skip.
it's Nancy. I'm in jail. I really could use your help right about now. Please call me as soon as you can. Wait, I don't know if I can even get phone calls in here. I guess I'll keep trying you. When you get this message, don't freak out, okay? You don't need to book the next flight home. At least, not yet. I got a note telling me to go to town hall,
Nancy.
and when I got there, it just
Okay,
burst into
so
flames.
after the phone
think
conversation
I
with
did
her
it.
father, Nancy is going to
This
call
might be
one of
one of
her
those
friends,
situations
and
where
this
I
is where the
can
game
admit
gets
that
more
I might need
interesting.
a
You
little
get to
help.
make a choice.
I guess I better get
Which
going
friend
now.
do you call?
I'll
Do you
try
call
again
Bess,
soon.
George, or
I
Ned?
should call my friends.
Well, you should really call either Ned or Bess. If you call George, the conversation is about 1 minute and 10 seconds long.
Ned, it's Nancy.
But when you call Ned
Nancy,
or
what's
Bess,
going
the
on?
conversation
How are
is
you?
only 1
All
minute
right, for
long.
now. I'm not
So
going to
it's
be able
faster
to get out of
to
here
pick
until I can
Ned
prove
or
that
Bess.
I'm not the one who set the fire.
We're going to have a
Anything
line
else,
here about a
I
wiki.
knew I could count on
Yeah,
you.
right here.
Remember that wiki we were using for the clues challenge?
The program on our phones, right?
Right.
if you call
Let's
George,
all
George
use
is going to
that
talk
keep in
about that
touch.
wiki
All
for like
case
3
information and
sentences, so
big
that's
clues
why
should
it
show
takes
up
longer to
there.
talk to
Good
her,
idea.
because George
There's
is going to
something
say,
I need right away.
did you say wiki?
Yes,
That
The
awesome
reason I went to the
program which
town
I
hall was
totally
because I was led
awesomely
there by a
programmed
note.
on the totally
I need
awesome
you guys to
phone?
find that note and drop it off at the station
Yeah, George
for
just
me.
starts bragging
I
about
think
how
it
cool
might
the
have
wiki
fallen out of my
is.
pocket when I escaped
So
the
it's
fire.
faster to call Ned or Bess.
Consider it done.
I'm passing
And
the case
basically
to
for
you,
this
Ned.
speedrun, I'm
Ned,
going to play as
reporting for
Ned
duty.
for most of the time. If you manage to, well, I guess you didn't see it there, but if you manage to have super good eyesight, you could have seen that the antique shop was closed. So is
This
Scoop.
must be the note Nancy
And
needs.
actually, you can't get inside the town hall yet. You can get inside it later on, but right now, all the areas are closed except for that area outside the town hall. You really don't have anything you can do besides get the note and drop it off to Nancy.
I should call Nancy.
And here's another cutscene, because as soon as you call Nancy, once the note is dropped off in the Dropbox, you have
Were you
a
able to find the
cutscene
note?
of the chief.
Yes.
Great. If you can put the note in a Dropbox at the police station, I'll pick it up and take over from there.
I'm turning the case over to you.
I'll take it from here.
Listen, I'm just doing my job here, Nancy, but I don't see any need to keep you locked up. If you want to prove your innocence, I'm not going to stand in your way.
All
This
right.
is the police station. Don't let me catch you messing with anything. Get me? Don't let me catch you.
It's a police station with
One more
only
thing.
3
We've got an
officers.
evidence board in the station we track cases with.
Okay,
If any
maybe
compelling
4
evidence were to show up
officers.
regarding your case, I would consider taking a look.
Okay, you need to take a look at the gaschromatograph.
So
I don't know why I decided to do that then. I could have done it later, but you have to take a look at it in order to trigger the gaschromatograph puzzle. And you have to listen to the chief here in order to trigger the key puzzle. Go find that key.
I should send someone to Pancake City to find that key.
Yeah, that's basically all that I do here. I found out about the key puzzle, and then I call Ned, and Ned is going to solve the key puzzle right
I need
now.
your help finding a key.
Oh, by the way, if
I need
the
to get
audio
any
here
evidence
sounds a
of
little
Detective
different,
Ryan
it's
locked
because
his
I'm using a
key.
different
I just wanted
microphone.
you
I'm
guys
using
to
my
find it.
headset
Any
rather
idea where we
than my
should look?
computer microphone.
Yes, try checking out
And
Pancake
one
City.
of the problems
Sure
with that is
Your
that
turn
you
to
get
take over.
weird sounds,
Time to
like
help
this.
Nancy.
Uh-oh, look at me. I'm actually touching my headphones and making the sound weird. Okay, so now I'm triggering a puzzle with Deirdre
Ned!
with a very
How's it
long
going?
conversation.
Bye.
See ya!
Yeah, that's the conversation. Yep. Clearly, I found the fastest way through that conversation. And this is where the game gets interesting. This is where you can do all sorts of different things. You can trigger the key puzzle, which is what I'm doing now. You can trigger the Deirdre puzzle, which is what I did back there. You can also trigger the fire alarm puzzle, which is a good idea because that saves about 5 minutes. But then you're going to have to make an extra
think you
trip
went to
to
the
the
antique
town
shop.
hall, and you're going to have to make an extra phone call to Nancy's father. And that's going to cost about 5 minutes. So doing the fire alarm puzzle out of order doesn't really save you that much time.
Hello? Have you seen Detective Ryan, the 12-year-old cop? Yeah, he's been here. He left something behind. Did he leave it behind to torment me? Possibly not. Is it tormenting me? Yes, it is. Can't figure the blasted
I
thing
find
out
it
on the
interesting
new
that
arrival
Nancy
shelf.
knew it was
Goodbye.
Detective Ryan,
Bye.
even though Chief McGinnis did not mention the
There's
detective's
a key
name.
under there.
1, 2,
Got it.
3. Thank you,
Hopefully this is the
Junior
key that
Mode,
Nancy
for
was
making the
looking for.
puzzles very easy.
This could be
And
useful.
picking up this. Now I'm going to leave and immediately return, because this triggers the arrival of Brenda's van, and you have to take a look at that newspaper. And talking to Brenda
Hello?
is going to trigger a conversation with
Hello?
Will
Tony.
you help us let the town know that Nancy's innocent?
Once you talk
I'm
to
not
Brenda,
fully
you will
convinced
be able to
that's
talk to
true.
Tony
Plus,
about
that's not how
Nancy's
things
arrest.
work.
But she
So
is
yeah, I'm
innocent.
not doing
Then why
much
is she in
here.
jail?
I'm just
Because she's
triggering
been
puzzles
fighting.
for later on in
I've
the
been
game.
working the crime beat here for a while, so I can safely say that
This
people
is
claim
what
they've
made
been
the
framed
speedrun
all of the
difficult.
time.
You have all
So
sorts
far,
of
not
puzzles
one has
that
been
need to
able
be
to prove
triggered,
it.
That's why
and
we need your
I
help.
just
I
had
do
to
the
figure
news.
out the
Not
best
charity.
order to trigger
Plus,
all
this
these
is a good
puzzles
story.
in.
A heroine falls from grace. A
It
once
works if
grateful
you
town
continually
turns its
switch back and
The
forth
final
between
clue is
Nancy
found.
in order to
Listen
solve
to
the
how good that
puzzles,
is. I
but
don't even
it's
have to try to
faster
make the
if
story
you do
interesting.
the puzzles
Aren't
in
you
a
worried about
specific
seeing
order,
justice
so you
done?
can solve about
You're a
5 puzzles
reporter.
as Ned.
If people cared
Then I'm
about
going to
seeing
switch to
justice done,
Nancy
I'd
and
report
work
on it.
on 4
But they
puzzles
don't,
as her.
so I don't.
Then back to
Fine.
Ned,
Drop by
only
if
3
you've got any
puzzles
hot
with Ned
tips.
that time. Then back to Nancy, 5 puzzles with her. Back to Ned. Ned is going to solve about 8 puzzles in a row. So, you know, basically, I'm trying to say that I tried to make the run go faster by having to switch between Nancy and Ned as few times as possible, which requires doing things in a very specific order.
I'll take it from here.
And the background music changed because, well, I can't record for an hour at a time. I occasionally had to take breaks to reset my recording equipment. And here I solved the puzzle before Nancy says, "Hey, this is a puzzle."
Find something to explain how this works.
I like that.
I'd better see what evidence the police have.
And this is triggering the gas chromatograph puzzle. You need to look at the file, you need to look at the gas chromatograph machine, and you need to take a look at the book, which I looked at several seconds ago. Now I'm going to drop off everything for Ned. And I'm going to trigger some puzzles with conversations to Ned. Okay, so I'm going to tell him to start the gas chromatograph puzzle, and I can tell him to start the fire alarm puzzle, but he can actually discover that puzzle without being told to. So that's nice. He won't be able to discover the gas chromatograph puzzle unless you tell him about it, though, which is why I'm saying, hey, give me a sample.
Point of origin?
And the Deirdre puzzle, because I talked to Deirdre, that triggered this conversation, so now Ned can flirt with Deirdre.
I need you to help us out with Deirdre.
And this is going to start the fingerprint puzzle.
Oh, no, she's not. She's just nice.
Right, nice, but only ever to you. Does that sound strange?
No, I'm a very pleasant person.
Ned.
I know you're right. It's just a little weird.
It's a lot weird, but this is a desperate time situation.
What do you need me to do?
Pour on that trademark Nickerson charm. See what info you can pry out of her.
You're sure this is okay with you?
I'm not the jealous type. And also, I'm in jail and would like to get out.
Those are solid points. You got it.
I'm passing the case to you, Ned.
Alright, way to go, Ned. Okay, so he picks up these things. And what's he going to do? He's going to talk to Deirdre because she's close by. Okay, makes sense.
Ned, how's it going?
Hi, Deirdre. I'm fine.
He certainly is. Are you joining me?
Actually, I just need a little more information from you. Nancy's in trouble.
Sigh. Ned Stiffer, that girl doesn't deserve you.
Ned Stiffer? Well, Ned doesn't deserve a girl who keeps on mingling his first name. Okay, Deirdre?
Tell me about what happened at the fire. Please, it's really important.
Nedgar. I've been over this with everyone
Nedgar, come on. His name isn't Nedgar. It's not Nedwin. It's not Ned Stiffer. It's not Ned Stantinople.
Please,
it's just Ned. That's his name, Ned.
I was out jogging and I saw the fire.
I didn't know you were a jogger.
Yeah, I'm into all of that health stuff.
So then what happened?
I saw a bunch of smoke. Brenda Carlton was there, and the antiques guy.
Boy, this is kind of a long conversation.
That's a negative.
And here's part 2 of the conversation. Looks like it took me a second there to select the right answer.
You must have been there for a reason. What was it?
Fine.
Come on, Deirdre, tell the truth.
Desperate look. I can't handle it. I was following Nancy.
What?
I thought she was cheating, since you guys were so far ahead. So I followed her and found a note someone left for her. I intercepted it. It had a time and a place, so I went. Nothing happened.
Do you still have the note?
Yes, here.
Did it come in that bag?
Yeah. It was raining pretty hard that night.
You know, the note doesn't really have a time and a place, does it?
Thanks. Goodbye.
Later.
I guess we didn't get a really good look at the note, but it was an anagram. It's the note we saw at the beginning of this video. It's Tom and the star thingy. That's not a time and a place. That's a puzzle. Okay, and here I am being very clever and solving 2 puzzles at once. The fire alarm puzzle.
Nancy was lucky to make it out unsinged.
We'll see this here right now. Fire alarm puzzle.
Turned off. I'd better tell Nancy.
And gaschromatograph puzzle.
Looks like the fire started here. Better take a sample.
Now, you can call Nancy from inside that area and save a little bit of time, because then the next time you play as Ned, you start outside the town hall. But really, that only saves you like 3 seconds, and you kind of have to go to the police station anyway and drop off the sample. Yeah, now I'm just calling to start the fingerprint puzzle, because you get the fingerprint kit from Nancy's room.
I have some dusting kits in my room. See if you can pull a print from the note.
Oh, and I'm doing the fire alarm puzzle as well. You can technically open the fingerprint cabinet and get the fingerprinting kit without calling Nancy, but if you do that, you won't be able to fingerprint that note from Deirdre. And somebody noted that Nancy keeps all of her chocolate under lock and key. Smart thinking, Nancy. And now that I can see the note, it says a place, but it doesn't say the time. It says the storage room as the place. It doesn't say the time, and you have to take a look at this. And the other newspaper you have to take a look at is downstairs. Yeah. Okay, very good, very good. So those things are important because they tell about the alibis of the various characters and plotlines such as that. And check out the inventory. Notice how the fingerprint moves in the inventory as soon as you open the package drop. I have no idea why that's the case. I just know that's what happens.
Hi.
I'm turning the case over to you.
Okay, time for Nancy to do a lot of work. She's going to call her father. For the alarm results or something like that.
Nancy,
Oh, but first we have to have this conversation, which is about a minute long of her talking to her father.
Still, they're blaming me for the fire at town hall.
That doesn't make any sense. Why would they think you'd have anything to do with something like that? Are they treating you okay?
Well, so far.
I'm dropping everything and I'm coming home. Hang tight. I'll be there as soon as I can.
Dad, you don't need to rush home all the way from Australia. I can take care of this myself. I just need a
Nancy,
little help.
you're in jail.
Nancy,
You can't take care of this by yourself, okay?
This is not something you should try to take on yourself.
I certainly won't turn down help.
That's my girl. I've got a lot of favors to call in, so even though I'm far away right now, I'll be able to help. Right now, I'm going to see if I can't get you out of jail. I'm going to make some calls. Keep me updated.
Okay, so this is interesting. He says you need to call him in about 2 minutes, right? No, he says a few minutes.
What do you need?
I think
It's
that the alarm
1.5
was
minutes to
disabled at the
2
old
minutes,
town hall.
real
I
time.
need you to look into it.
Listen.
Now that is a big break. I think I may know just the person to talk to about that.
Okay,
Give me a call
so
back in a
in
few
2 minutes of real time, you will be able to call him again and continue the conversation. I should have had a stopwatch running or something in the background to know when the 2 minutes is. So I tried to fill up the time with this right here. I analyzed the fingerprint. Oh, and this is a puzzle. Notice that I didn't open the top drawer of the evidence locker to actually see the clue to the puzzle.
Got it.
You can solve the puzzle without looking at the clue. Now I'm going to analyze the gaschromatograph, the sample, and it hasn't quite been 2 minutes. So when I call Nancy's father again, he's still going to be gone.
I need to figure out which accelerant matches these figures.
So now I basically just have to wait for the 2 minutes to be up so I can continue the conversation with Carson.
You've reached the personal line of Carson.
And I'm going to talk to him about the results. I'm going to say, hey, what happened when you called about the alarm? And then I'm going to say, hey, do you know anything about the gaschromatograph?
You've reached the personal line of Carson Drew. Please direct all business matters to the firm's
Come
switchboard.
on, Carson. Carson. Oh,
You've reached
come
the personal line
on.
of Carson Drew. Please direct all business matters to the firm's switchboard.
Yeah, I really should have had a stopwatch running in the background or something, because calling him
You've
4
reached the
times in a
personal
row
line of Carson
is
Drew.
not very
Please
fun.
direct all business matters to the firm's switchboard.
Thank goodness.
Nancy, hi.
I need help interpreting some sample data.
All right. What do you need?
I have data from a gaschromatograph, but I don't know what the output means.
I think I may have just the thing you need at the
Why
office.
does he have this
I'll
at
have it
his
dropped off to
office?
your
I mean,
friend,
he's a
just to be
lawyer.
sure it
Why
gets
does he have information about
I have my
gaschromatographs
friends
in
keep an
his
eye out on the
office?
fireplace method
I
for the
am
delivery.
questioning
Thanks.
this plot line.
So, what did you find out about the alarm system?
You're right, it was switched off. According
And
to
this
my
is
friend
the
in high
alibi
security,
puzzle.
the alarm was
Hey
disabled
everybody,
on site
we just
at
triggered the
2:17,
alibi
the
puzzle.
afternoon of the fire.
So you'll
I hope
notice
that
that I
helps.
triggered this
You
before
bet it
talking
does.
to most of the
Thanks.
suspects.
I'd better let you go.
Because obviously, I want to talk to the suspects about their alibis.
What's up?
I just spoke to my dad. He said the alarm at Town Hall was disabled at 2:17 the
Okay,
day
I'm
of the
gonna
fire.
ask for Ned
check
to
everybody's
check for
alibi at that
alibis and
time?
ask him to
Will
check
do.
for
We'll figure out where
fingerprints.
everyone was when the alarm was disabled.
Ned, we need to get Deirdre's fingerprint. See if you can distract her.
Distract her?
Maybe invite her out on a date. Anything so that we can get her fingerprint.
I like how I asked about
checked a
Deirdre's
partial
fingerprint
fingerprint from
before
Deirdre's
asking
note,
about
but
fingerprints
there
in
weren't any
general.
matches in the system.
That was sort of
If we
out
can
of
get
order.
a match against one of the suspects, I might be able to get out. Can you find a way to get prints from everyone?
Yes.
Your turn to take over.
Ned, reporting for duty.
Okay, and now Ned is going to Deirdre.
What's up?
Where were you at 2:17 on the day of the fire?
I was out on the clues challenge. Same as you. Don't
Okay,
believe me?
this is her
Call
alibi.
Jessica,
Part 1 of her alibi. You're gonna have to actually call her friends for part 2.
555-6388.
I was wondering if you...
Yes?
Maybe we could go grab some food together.
Yes, I would like that. I can't go out like this. I'm going to have to go get ready.
But you're out already.
Oh, Nedwin, I know you're used to spending time with Nancy Drew, but not all girls are like that. Some of us find better ways to spend our time than playing detective.
Okay, so that gets rid of her in order to get her fingerprint.
Got it. I see why Nancy likes this sort of thing.
And here's the conversation with Tony. I get
Hi,
her
welcome.
fingerprint,
What can I get
then I'm
for
gonna
you?
have the
One order of ice cream,
conversation
please.
I
about
was hoping you'd ask.
Nancy's arrest. Right.
I bet I can find a fingerprint on
Basically,
this.
I've sort of grouped it together. You know, all the conversations with
Got it.
Tony take place at once, so I really only
welcome.
have to
What can I
visit
get
her
for you?
one
What do you know
time.
about Nancy Drew's arrest?
Rather than
It's
visiting
sad for
her
her and
like
for the
3
town.
different times.
A lot
It's
of people
definitely
put their faith and
a
trust in
time
Nancy.
saver just to visit her
She's really
once.
let a lot of people down.
But she didn't do anything.
It's not up to me to decide that. I just know what I've seen. I know that the police force here doesn't take anything lightly. If they've made a decision, I have to stand by it. Oh, excuse me, I have to go get this delivery.
Okay, so I find the evidence about Tony.
This is just like what Nancy saw at the fire. Why
I
would
don't
Tony
know,
have
maybe she's
these?
an amateur photographer?
That's an accelerant.
Ooh, and this is nice. Ned is going to talk about the
The
lock-picking
lock-picking
puzzle
kit might
right
just be a
here.
trick. It's locked.
No, not right here, but when I press the first lockpick, he's gonna say something. He
Can't
says
see
this
inside.
if you haven't
figure
read
out how
the
to crack
notes
this kind of
on
lock.
how to pick locks, because you don't know how to pick locks, right? You need to read the notes first. But fortunately, you
got
can
it.
actually pick the lock without
What's Tony
reading the
doing with
notes
Town
and
Hall
knowing
plans?
how to solve the
I should
puzzle.
make sure Nancy knows
Very
about this.
nice. So I saved myself, I don't know, about 3 seconds by not reading Nancy's notes.
What? She really has it out for Nancy.
Alrighty, way to go, Ned. Okay, and next is the sort of difficult part where I have to play number punch. basically, I decided, hey, if I beat it in under a minute, I'm going to accept that. Yeah, this is going to throw off the speedrun because it's a randomized puzzle. So basically, I played this like 5 times in a row. This was not my fastest time, but it was under a minute, so I liked it. My fastest time was 52 seconds. And this is more like 58 seconds. 20, where's 21? There's 21, 22... I think the trick is to always be looking ahead. So I look ahead like 1, 2, or 3 numbers. So while I'm looking for 30, I'm still keeping an eye out for 31 and 32. Ooh, and I solved it exactly in a minute. Awesome. Way to go, Michael. I mean, way to go, Ned, because I'm playing as Ned.
Hello? Where were you before you saw the fire? At around
Okay, so I talked to him about his alibi, and it's very interesting. With Alexi, you actually have to say, hey Alexi, your alibi is false. Now, Tony's alibi is false, but you don't actually have to confront her about it. And you have to confront Deirdre about her false alibi. For some reason, Tony's the only character with a false alibi that doesn't require being confronted about.
It was not canceled. I showed up, I gave my talk.
And when I say require, I mean the post-it note on the evidence board about the alibi doesn't appear unless you confront the character about that false alibi.
I'm looking for a gift for my uncle. He's a real train buff. Can you help me find something special for him?
Okay, so here I get rid of Alexi for 2 reasons. One to get the fingerprint, and one to find the accelerant. Alright, way to go, Ned.
Yes, got it.
Oh yeah, and you have to find this. That's important. Don't need to look at that newspaper. Shouldn't have done that. All you need to do is look at the ether. And now I'm going to give all the fingerprints to Nancy, because Nancy needs to pick up all 3 fingerprints in order for you to be able to get the final fingerprint, the fingerprint from Brenda. And once again, the inventory changed as soon as I opened the package drop. I still have no idea why that is. Now, you have to call both of Deirdre's friends. You don't have to call them in any specific order. I'm calling Holly, then Jessica. You can call Jessica, then Holly. No matter which order you call the friends in, the second person is going to say that Deirdre's alibi is false.
You can ask Jessica if you want.
Okay, thanks for your help.
Bye.
I think Holly talks slower than Jessica, so I called Jessica second. Because Jessica's going to say more than Holly does. If you call Holly second, she's going to say more things and be very slow about it. So I think it's faster to call Jessica.
What about Deirdre?
She was supposed to be there. Ended up coming hours later, as usual.
What do you mean by that?
Don't tell her I said this, but she's not a very good team member. She's never where she says she's going to be. She's always running around, and she'll never say where she's been.
I shouldn't have said
Don't tell her I
that.
said that. Oh, I have to go.
I'll let you go.
I should not have said that. Okay, Nancy. Hey, Nancy. How's it going? And I'm skipping all those optional conversations.
I'm turning the case over to you.
I'll take
Nancy's
it from
going to get those fingerprints in her inventory, like I said. And now off to get the final fingerprint from Brenda. All right. Good job, Nancy. Good job.
What's up?
And we're about halfway done with the speedrun. Great. Good, good, good. This is going to be our final time playing as Ned. Yes, I know, it's very sad. We aren't going to play as Ned ever again. Oh well, it's been fun playing as Ned.
Great to see you again.
And I'm gonna have to have a couple of conversations with Brenda. You know, 2 or 3. before I can get her fingerprints.
Oh, good luck with that. Now, let's get to brass tacks. What's the real story with Nancy Drew?
She's not guilty.
It's not up to me to decide innocence or guilt. It's up to the public.
Yeah, right.
Where do you think juries come from? The public. Who tells the public what to think?
Oh, great. The media is trying to control public opinion again.
Yes, I was writing a story and
mean old
broadcasting
media.
and webcasting and macro and
Okay, and I don't know why we need to know that she was microblogging, but we do have to know that in order to get her card.
My phone's always off when I'm on scene, but I check my messages constantly. I'll call back.
And that's a lie. She will never call
If you want
back.
to talk about Nancy,
She never,
off the
ever
record
calls
even,
back because she
I'm
doesn't
always
really
there
have an
for you.
answering
Where were
machine.
you before the fire started?
She has an
Live and on the scene,
automated,
as usual.
whatever you
I'm
call
pretty
it,
sure
service.
Most of the town saw the broadcast, and this story is on the fast track.
And
to
I'm asking
national
her about her
coverage.
alibi
Actually,
right
you didn't
here,
answer my
and she's gonna
question.
get mad
I'm
and
sorry,
end the
I'm working on a
conversation.
lead. I have to work on my notes.
So that saves me about 3 seconds because I don't have to listen to Ned say, "Thank you very much for talking to me," and then she says goodbye. I managed to skip the end of conversation by having her end the conversation for me.
To report breaking news in the North River Heights area, say yes. Otherwise, say no.
Yes.
You have
And I mean,
indicated
come
a
on, this
breaking
is her
news
cell
story
phone?
in the North
How
River
are,
Heights area.
I mean, how are you supposed to leave a message, and how is she supposed to call back? You can't leave a message, and she's never gonna call back. I'm sorry.
Acetone. Definitely
I'm
an
sorry.
accelerant.
I'm sorry. That's just ridiculousness. And now for the fingerprint.
Got it.
Do. And I'm just going to go to the Drew house now and pick up information about the accelerants. Now that I've found all 3 of them, I found the ether, I found the fingernail polish, and I found the paint remover in Tony's store. That's 3 accelerants, so I get the information from Nancy's father. And check the stuff in the inventory, it's going to change one more time. And here I just drop off everything to Nancy, everything I can. Besides those 4 things. Those 4 things are just going to stay in my inventory. And this is kind of mean of Ned.
What's the deal? I waited for you for
She
an
was
hour.
waiting to go on
I'm
the
sorry,
date with
I ran
Ned,
into
and he
traffic.
stood her
All
up.
right.
What a
Fine.
meanie, Ned.
Don't let it happen again.
I know he's a
It seems like
stand-up
your friends
guy,
aren't
but
as
that still
confident about
seems
where
very
you were
rude.
as you seem to think they'd be.
And this is
Between
part
you
2 of the
and me,
conversation about the
that's kind of
alibi.
dumb.
If you don't
That's
have
not a
this
very nice thing to
conversation,
say about your
the
friends.
post-it note
You
about the
talked to them
alibi
or
doesn't get
something,
added
right?
to Nancy's
I'm
list of
not
evidence.
wrong. Anyway, we're not for real friends.
And
They're
this
still in a
also
90-day
is
trial
something
period.
else. It also triggers the
return them in their
conversation
original
about
packaging at any
Deirdre
time.
being
Bye.
mean.
Bye.
So, once you talk to Deirdre, after Ned invites her out, you have this conversation with Nancy.
I need your expertise.
I see what you did there. This is about Deirdre, isn't it?
Yes, we need to distract her. You have to ask her out on a
What?
date.
But he already did
For
that.
what?
She is
Or
not
take
going
her
to
out
fall for
lunch.
that one
Follow her
again.
For a while.
But what if people see us?
I feel
I'll
kind
get
of
a
bad for
reputation.
Deirdre.
Ned.
Ned stands her
Okay, I'll
up,
do it.
and
It's
then...
weird, but I'll do it.
Well, he asks her out again, but he does go
Thanks,
on a
bye.
second date, but
Bye.
still. If I were her, I wouldn't agree to go on a
Hi.
second date with
I was
Ned.
wondering if you could go grab some food together.
Yes, I would like that.
Plus, he sort of calls his
Were you able
girlfriend
to
while he's
distract
on the
Deirdre?
date, which is very, very
Great.
rude.
I'll call Bess or George to go see if she's left anything behind.
And here's Bess. We're gonna have like a 20-second conversation with Bess,
Hello?
which you
Bess,
should have had at the
Nancy.
start of the game.
Nancy,
This
what's
is
going
what
on?
happens
How are
whenever you first
All
call
right for
Bess. We're
now.
gonna have a
I'm not going
conversation
to be able
about,
to get out of here
hey,
until I can
I'm in
prove
jail.
that I'm not the one who set the fire.
We'll do anything you need to help get you out.
It's your turn to take
Yeah,
the
I'm
case.
playing as Bess.
I'm on the case.
Alright, Bess gets some gameplay. Isn't that cool, everybody?
This is from before the fire yesterday. We need to
Bess
get this
isn't
to
going to get a lot of gameplay, but she gets some gameplay, and Bess is the only person who can talk to
Oh, hey
Tony
there,
about
kid. How
Tony's
are you
alibi,
holding up?
so
I'm okay.
obviously I'm going to play as
Never
Bess to
expected
get
something
that
like from
alibi.
her. This must have been pretty rough on you.
She didn't do it, really. You've got to believe me.
Bess, I believe you. I believe that's what you think. We never know what someone is capable of until it's too late.
She's innocent.
Yeah, like
Really
super
innocent.
duper
You know it.
innocent.
All right. I wasn't trying to upset you, Bess, I promise. You're very protective of your friends, and that's a good thing. She's got a lot of evidence stacking
And
up
this is a
against her right
very
now. You
short
can't deny
conversation.
that.
Can you tell me where you were at 2:17 on the day of the fire?
Here,
That's it.
Until next time.
come again.
Okay, that's it. I just drop off the information to Nancy. And then we're gonna play as Nancy for the rest of the game. So how long is that? That's, let me see. That's 25 minutes? Okay, 25 minutes of playing as Nancy.
Hi. You take
Yeah,
the lead
the
now.
ending part of the
Nancy
game is
Drew,
sort of like the
taking over.
beginning part of the game in that you don't really have a lot of options as to what to do. You basically have to do everything
I
in
need
the
to check
proper
this
order.
against the chromatogram results.
So it's going to
Which
be rather
accelerant was
linear
used?
from here on
The
out.
fire was started with isopropyl alcohol, not gasoline. Adding this to the evidence against me will help prove I didn't start the fire.
Okay, all the evidence. I just need to analyze those fingerprints and the ticket.
It's Brenda.
And the ticket, River Heights 301. River Heights 627 E401.
Power ballads, the #1 cause of running red lights. Wait a second. This puts her at town hall right when the alarm was switched off.
Okay, and here's the conversation about the evidence board, which again is a conversation that you're supposed to have at the beginning of the game,
I've got all the
not
evidence
right
I
when
need.
Nancy is about
I
to
just
get
need to
out of
make sure
jail.
it's in the right place now.
Oh well, I did things out of order. It's a speedrun, what do you expect? Speedruns always have things happen out of order in order to save time.
Can you take a look at this?
Be right there for an evidence check.
Okay, Nancy's out of jail.
Looks solid. Looks like you just got yourself a get out of jail free card.
Alright!
But I swore I could chew and I swear till kitten's out of jail.
I'm out.
Random musical interludes. I do so enjoy them. I enjoy them much more than this part of the game. Sure, we get to ride around in Nancy's spunky blue roadster,
Nancy,
but
how are
we
you
have
adjusting to life
about
on the
3
outside?
puzzles in a row,
Fine, thank
which,
you. I'm not in the
well,
mood
they're
to do
sort
an
of
interview.
puzzles.
That's okay. Everything you say will be off the record.
You're
I like
still
puzzles,
holding your
but
microphone.
these puzzles aren't
Sorry,
particularly
Alex,
fun to
still holding
speedrun,
it.
so
All right.
I don't
You're
really like
good.
it that much.
Word of warning, I will get the exclusive. I always do.
I basically
Is there a way
played
I could
this
get
part
in
of the
touch
game
with you
like,
later?
Good question. Why don't you take
8
one of my
times
cards?
in a row, trying to
Is
figure
this your
out
cell phone
what
number?
you have to talk
Yes.
about and what you don't have to talk about.
Bye.
Bye.
There are some conversations you have to have and other conversations you don't have to have. And it turns out, really the conversations you have to have are with Deirdre. You have to have 2 with Deirdre. I thought you had to talk to Bess, but you don't have to talk to Bess.
Breaking news in the North River Heights area. Say yes. Otherwise, say no.
Yes.
You have indicated a breaking news story in the North River Heights area. Brenda Carson will be notified directly. Goodbye.
Yeah, you have to take a look at this.
How could Brenda have possibly made it to all those interviews so quickly? It doesn't make sense.
And you also have to take a look at this thing. Very nice, very nice. And here's puzzle number 1. It's sort of long. It's about 3 minutes because we have to watch this entire
Did she tell you
cutscene.
about her plans to burn down Town Hall?
Then I have to solve the puzzle, and then I have to watch half of the cutscene. So, you know, it takes a lot of time. It's
But she didn't. It's
not
natural
very
to be in
friendly on the
denial. You just want
speedrunner.
the best for your friend, yes? Of course. Who else would she have told her plans to?
No one?
Has she always been secretive like that?
No.
So just recently.
That's not what I meant.
Does she have any enemies?
Well, she solves crimes, so there might be some hard feelings from the people she's gotten in trouble.
She solves crimes, so she must be pretty familiar with how criminals cover up their traps.
Yes,
Yeah,
Nancy
she knows all of the tricks.
has a lot of enemies in jail. It's a good thing she wasn't put in the same jail cell as one of her
I
enemies.
don't know about that.
So you think there's potential she won't get away with burning down Town Hall?
That's not what I said at all.
Okay, look,
So you
Town
do
Hall
think
is in
she'll
the
get away with
background.
it?
It was
She
not
didn't
burnt
do
down.
it.
It can
She's not
clearly be
guilty.
repaired.
I can see that this is very
It's gonna cost a
emotional
lot
for
of
you.
money, but at least the
Thank you
building
for
is
your
still
time.
standing,
We'll
you
continue to follow
know?
the story as it develops.
You took what I said and screwed it all up.
Oh no, Bess. You did great. I know it's upsetting, but really well done.
I want to go again.
Great. I'll find you as details develop.
Oh, Beth. Wait. What's Deirdre doing back there? I should try modifying the settings of the other
It'd be nice
tracks
if I
to
could have
enhance
solved the puzzle
background
now
track
while
and
Nancy
hear
is
what she
still
was saying.
talking, but no.
That's it. Only 4 more tracks to go.
Alright, here I'm basically just reading the answers off of a piece of paper, solving it rather quickly, and now I have to play this again.
I don't see anything. I saw her come
I
through
wonder
this
who
way.
Deirdre was
It's gotta
talking
be
to. She
here.
must be talking to Holly or
Maybe
Jessica.
it was destroyed in the fire.
I can't think of anybody else
I'm not
that she would be
imagining
talking
things.
to.
I know what I saw. Oh. I can't assume that. It's not here, okay?
That's not what I meant.
No, I'll find it. I'll find it.
Deirdre thought she was following me. Who was she really
She
following?
was following somebody wearing a Nancy wig, which is what we are going to find in the evidence bag. Once we get the evidence bag in about, I don't know, 13 minutes. Okay, we have to talk to Deirdre.
Look what the cat dragged out of the jail.
Good to see you were so concerned.
Oh, I'm sorry if I was misleading. I wasn't concerned.
I want to know what you were doing at the fire. Why were you there?
Look, I don't care about the stupid clues challenge. I really don't. The only reason I was in it was because my dad never shuts up about how I need to be active in the community and blah.
Then why were you following me?
I assumed you were cheating.
Why would you assume that?
Because I was cheating. I thought we were all cheating. That's why I thought it would be fun to catch you in the act. But instead, you did something super crazy, which I did not anticipate.
I didn't set the building on fire.
Yeah, you think Deirdre is
cool.
really good at
Just so you
anticipating
know,
super
you do
crazy
do a pretty great
things. After all,
impression of
she's so
someone who's
super
recently
crazy
burned down a
herself.
building for no reason.
She's really used
How
to
do
it
you
by
think
now.
Brenda gets around town so quickly?
She probably speeds and never gets tickets because she's good looking.
Didn't you get a ticket from a red light camera?
All right, that's a flaw in my logic, but I'm still going to assume I'm right. I've got no idea how she does it.
What do you know about the notes that were left for me?
Promise not to be super mad?
Okay, fine.
That's not the first note I found. I found another note earlier on your porch.
What did it say?
It gave me a place to go. I went there.
Gosh, I wish I
Nothing
could think
happened.
of some interesting
That's when I thought
commentary
maybe
right about
someone was
now. It's
expecting to
just
meet you. Next time I intercepted the
2
note
minutes
and
of
sent it your
dialogue.
way.
Yeah, you have to
And
have
you
this
followed me.
dialogue, and then
Right.
Why
I'm
are
gonna
you
go
admitting
back
all
to
this? I thought you hated me.
Lexi and talk to him
do
about the
hate you,
tunnels, and
but I
that
don't
is going to
hate
trigger
you.
the whole
It's complicated.
confrontation with the
I
culprit.
just truly enjoy hating you, and I'd hate for something to happen that would throw off our equilibrium. Also, it's not fair.
Well, that's really nice of you. Thanks.
And that's why I hate you. So much positivity. And you're welcome.
See you later.
Goodbye.
Ah, Deirdre. I like her. I think it's nice that they included her in this game. She's a character from the book series. I'm told that Brenda Carlton is as well, although I haven't read any books with Brenda Carlton in it. So I have no idea if Brenda is accurate to the book series, but Deirdre is.
Do you need anything?
So, good job with Deirdre.
Thanks. I didn't know you were following
Can't
my
help it.
case.
Small town.
Help.
I
Small
want
town.
you to know that I
I
didn't
want
doubt
you
you,
to know that I
not
didn't
for
doubt
a
you,
second.
Not for a second.
That means a lot.
Trust me, I know.
Yeah, Alexa, I kind of skipped all the parts of the game where we learn about your backstory, so I have no idea what you're talking about now.
I should have worked harder myself. It's probably too late, but anything I can do to help you, anything you need to know, I'm your guy.
I'm stuck. Do you have any advice from your detective days?
Times were different back then. The town's a lot nicer these days. Used to have lots of
You
crooks
can have a
running around
conversation with
tunnels.
Tony Scolari about the tunnels
Yeah,
as
there's a whole
well.
network of tunnels under the
However,
town.
it's faster
They
to have
say
the
they're gonna
conversation
co-work,
with
but they're
Alexi.
even older.
I think he
They'll buy
talks
smugglers
more
and the
than
like.
Tony Scolari does, but you
Turn into a
absolutely
shelter
have
in
to
the
talk to
50s.
Alexi
How
in
do I
order to
find
get
my
the book
way
about
in?
the tunnels.
I don't know if I should help you with that. The
And
tunnels
you
are
need the book
very
about the
dangerous.
tunnels to
I have to
trigger
find
the
a way into
conversation
the
with
tunnels.
Brenda,
My
I
case
believe.
depends on it.
I see. You know, Nancy, when I was younger, I used to love to read. A
Yeah,
good
you do
book
need
always
to
gave me great ideas.
read the book
There's a
about the
book over
tunnels in
there
order
if you
to
check
trigger
it
the
out.
conversation, because
I
Nancy's
really
going
don't
to say
have
something
time for
about it
that.
as soon as we
There's
leave the
always
store.
time for this book. I always brought it with me on my adventures.
And
as a
if
kid.
his name is
You want
Alexi
to read
Markovic,
it,
why
cover
is his
to
store
cover.
called
Bye.
Warden
Until
Cliff
next time.
Techniques? I mean, Warden Cliff... Warson Cliff? I don't know. It's
Alexi
a
said
strange name
cover
for
to
the antique
cover.
store,
There
and it's
must be a
not his
code on the
name.
book's cover.
I'm just wondering why.
It's a coded guide for getting
Maybe the
around
guy
the
he bought the
tunnels.
store from refused to sell it to him unless he swore not to change the name. Funny thing is,
Alexi's
the guy
guide
he
said
bought the
that
shop
tunnel
from wasn't
entrance
named
right
Warden
outside
Cliff
the antique
either.
shop.
And you know, I think this is actually rather interesting. Nancy learns
one who
that
left me
Brenda
the
is the
notes,
culprit
aren't
right
you?
here.
Yes.
You
And then
lured
we
me to
still
town
have
hall.
like
You led me to
20
that
minutes
room.
of gameplay
All
after
I need
that.
to know now is whether you were trying to frame
It
me
just adds to
trying
the
to kill
dramatic
me.
suspense.
both
Usually,
would have
you don't
made
find
a
out
great
who the culprit
story.
is until the
You won't
very
get
end of
away
the
with
game.
this. You and I both
Very,
know
very
you have
end of the
no
game.
proof. I've got your
But
fingerprints,
here, you
and I-
learn who the culprit
and
is
I'll
about
be on the air
15
before
minutes
you know
before
it.
the end of the game.
Spinning your story so hard that every potential
interesting
juror in
change
this
of
town will be
pace.
itching to lock you up and throw away the key.
Far from
They
it.
did something
I'm
like
going to
that
make
in
sure
Haunting
everyone
of
in this
Castle
town
Malloy
finds out
too.
who you
Yeah, you
really
learn the
are.
culprit's identity
you do what you
before the
want.
end of the game.
If I were you, I'd take my head start
Sure,
and
it's
book
very
myself a
close to
flight
the
out
end of the
the
game, but
country.
it's not at the
I'm
very,
not
very end
the
of the
type
game.
to run away.
You still have about
Before
15
you
minutes
say
of
that, I'd
gameplay
take
afterwards.
A good long look at Alexi. That man's sad, broken down, lonely life in that grimy old
Oh,
store.
come on, the store is
It's
not
your
that
future
grimy.
if you
It's
stay.
actually rather
Your
clean.
choice.
I'll let you go.
And it's
Goodbye.
very interesting how Brenda just says, goodbye, very politely. Yes, I'm the culprit who tried to kill you. Goodbye. And George, we have ignored you
Nancy,
for
you're
this
out.
entire
I'm so
video
worried. You have no
walkthrough. I am
idea.
very
Thank
sorry.
you for your help. You guys are the best friends in the world. We're not out of the
Yeah,
woods.
you know, we are
You
not
need
out of the
anything,
woods.
you let me
Take a
know.
look at the
It's
scenery.
Brenda. She's
That is
setting me
clearly
up.
the
I knew
woods
you'd figure it out.
in the
Now I just
background.
need to figure out how to stop her broadcast.
Say no more. I know just the thing. Let me go grab it. If you can go find a battery for me, I'll be
I
right
always
back.
thought this battery thing was kind of a weird challenge. I don't know why they have it here. Why weren't we able just to skip straight to, you know, the puzzle? I guess we
Oh
had to
my
leave and come
gosh!
back
Who
in
would
order
do
to have
something like that?
the
Someone could really
backed
get hurt.
away view in order to
Who
see
would
the
do
window get
this?
broken.
Some of the fine citizens of River Heights
Yeah,
have
see
been
here with the
expressing their
close-up
outrage
of
ever
George,
since
you
were
can't
arrested.
actually see the
I
broken
can't believe
window.
someone would do that.
So they
Don't
came up
worry about
with
it.
the
They're just a big bunch
battery
of cowards.
puzzle,
We'll
I
take
think,
care of
just
this
as an
thing.
excuse to
If
have
you
Nancy
ever find
leave
anything
and
to
then
stop
come back
Brenda,
so we could
I
have
think
the
I've got
different
something
view
good.
of the window.
Sort of. It's in pieces, but I'll figure it out. Maybe you could help?
Are they actually
Of
wanted to
course.
have a difficult
What is
puzzle?
it?
I'm not sure.
A
It's not
jammer.
that difficult of a
Once
puzzle.
this
I
baby
don't
is up
really
and
think
running,
there are
there'll be
any
no
other
way she can get her
batteries.
broadcast on the air. Do you have the battery?
Yes. Here.
I mean,
That's
George
exactly
says
the
that's
one
the
I
one I
need.
need. It sort of
Perfect.
makes it seem
Leave her.
like maybe you
I'll
could have
work on
found a
getting all the
battery
pieces
somewhere
wired up.
else,
If you
and
could
then
work
George
on
would
getting
say,
all the
that's the
connections powered
wrong
up.
battery.
You got it. I need to get
I
all
don't
of
know
the
where you would get that
connections
other
powered
battery, though. I think that's the only place you can have the battery. And here's this puzzle. Yay. Fun. Hooray. I love this puzzle. Not really. Jeez. Kinda boring. No, it's a good puzzle. Yes, it's definitely a good puzzle. I like it a lot. However, It's not a very good puzzle to speedrun. You sort of have to know where everything needs to go ahead of time. And I had a picture of the puzzle solution on the right-hand side of my screen. So I'm actually looking at the picture of the solution while I'm solving the puzzle. You know, I had the solution picture for reference. But basically the way I speedran this was by solving the puzzle, I don't know, 4 or 5, more like 5 times in a row until I got really good at it. I could have done it a couple of more times. I bet if I did do it a couple of more times, I would have gone even faster. Maybe, I don't know, 20 seconds faster? I'm not sure how much faster you can go.
Got it.
It's fast enough, it's fast enough.
Brenda from going on the air for a little while at least. Perfect.
By this time, I'm like, look, I'm so close to the end of the game. I'm getting really bored of doing the speed run. I'm not going to go for the fastest speed. I'm just going to go for a fast speed. That's all. Yeah, I got sort of lazy near the end of the speed run. Sorry about that, everyone.
It'll be blocking the signal, but will only last for about 30 minutes before the battery dies. I wish I could make it last longer, but it's the best I can do right now. Go find a way to put it on Brenda's van's antenna, but don't let her know it's there. Once it's on, you'll have to move quickly. It won't last long. Bye.
Until next time, I'm George Fain. Back to you, Jim. Okay, and here's another puzzle. Slightly easier than the other one. However, for some reason, my mouse always gets stuck when solving this puzzle.
All I need to do next
I don't know why, it just does. Yeah, see, it got stuck there for a moment or two. And it gets stuck there. Stuck twice there. I don't know why. It's, something weird about my mouse, I guess.
This must be how Brenda gets around town so quickly.
Okay, a brief time saver here by opening the inventory, you know, ahead of time. That way I don't have to open it later. That only saves about half a second, though. It's not much of a time saver. And we're going to have another time saver with the screwdriver. I'm going to open the door with the screwdriver before learning the door is locked. That saves about a second.
Brenda!
Nancy? Lose something?
And it's funny, you can actually play around with the inventory and the task list during this conversation.
This is how you got into town hall to start the fire, isn't it?
If you have to ask, do I need to bother to answer?
Why? Why would you do this? Did that?
You've got the next 10 to 20 years to
Did
figure
that?
that out. I'll give you a hint.
That's done.
If they give you TV privileges in the
Still
big
have
house,
to do that.
you'll be
Did
seeing
that?
a lot
Can't check
of
that off.
Yeah, I didn't examine the evidence locker fully. I did not examine the top drawer.
And now you can't.
Huh.
Yeah,
here
that's a
it is.
time saver. I skipped examining the top drawer of the evidence locker. Yeah, alright.
The final nail in your coffin.
I like how they have the old picture of Nancy Drew by the door here.
Broadcasts whatever is on that tape.
You know, the classic Nancy Drew picture. It's nice. It's not the same Nancy Drew picture that you'll see in the ending cutscene in just a moment. And here I'm basically just reading the directions off a piece of paper. Hooray for getting through the maze. There's no way to speed this up. And this is basically it. This is the end of the speedrun. Thank you very much for watching, everybody. Can the speedrun be improved? Yes. Can it be improved significantly? I don't think it can be, unless you can come up with some sort of major skip, or you have a completely different route. Yeah, I don't think there are any major skips. Maybe there's some sort of glitch you can exploit. I don't think that's the case either, though.
Ha! I knew we were getting close.
But I think
Today
maybe
just
if
keeps
you
on getting better.
point and click faster than I did, you could probably cut it down to, say, 57 minutes flat.
Chief,
Here's that
I've
picture of
got
Nancy
something
I
you
was
need to
talking
see.
about. There you go.
could no
And here we go,
longer
this is the
contain
ending
the
cutscene.
darkness
Okay, so this
inside
is officially
herself.
the end.
In a desperate act, she set the night sky ablaze. Perhaps we'll never know what caused Nancy
So
Drew
yeah,
to strike the match
57
that
minutes
forever
and
changed this
45
town.
seconds.
But one thing is certain.
Nice
River
speed
Heights will
run.
be a
I like
safer
it.
place with Nancy Drew behind bars. With a heavy
Yeah, I
heart,
bet if
we
you could
must
skip
forever
some of
say
these
goodbye to a
conversations,
former hero and
you know,
look
we had some
bravely.
longer conversations. If you could figure out a
I'm in the
way
middle of
to
a
get
broadcast.
around having those conversations and still beat the
You're
game,
under arrest.
then you could cut down the
No,
speed
this
run
isn't
to, say,
happening.
maybe
You
50
can't do
minutes.
this. Get your
I have
hands
no
off of
idea
me.
how you do
You
that.
don't want to mess with me. I've got dirt on all of you. I could ruin every single one of you.
Brenda.
That's a risk we'll have to take. Back to you, Jim.
And Chief McGinnis uses his mustache power of awesomeness
Dear
in
Hannah,
order to stop
was
Brenda.
Right about one thing.
Way to
Her
go,
broadcast
Chief
did make it
McGinnis.
all the way to the national news.
Just not in the
Just
way
not
she had
exactly
intended.
The way she had intended. Not the type to let a little thing
And you
like
know,
a
Brenda
prison
wears
sentence get in
orange
the way of her
normally, so the
ambition.
orange
She's
prison
already
jumpsuit
started working the
really,
weather news desk at
doesn't
Heights
look that
Regional
different on
Corrections
her.
Center. I'm sure she'll work her way to the lead anchor desk during the next 10 to 20 years.
Yeah, it looks exactly the same
Well,
as
Tony
her
had
normal
nothing to
outfit,
do with
except
the
without
fire.
the
She
little
did show her true
fluffy thing in the
colors
front.
as the details of the case emerged.
What do you call it, a
Public support
cravat?
for
Is she
Tony
wearing a
fell to
cravat?
an all-time low.
Where can you
Tony
purchase an
quietly
orange
removed her name
cravat?
from the ballot, but remains behind the counter at Scoop. It'll be a while before any of us go out
I don't
for
think
ice
Tony's
cream
true
again.
colors really
To
were
everyone's
shown
surprise, the
because
time
we
capsule
sort of
survived the
skipped
fire.
that plot
And
line.
sure enough, when it was opened, J.P. Bennington's
And we skipped the
so-called
plot line about
stolen
J.P.
property
Bennington.
was recovered. After
But
decades,
Alexi seems
was
happy
finally
nonetheless.
vindicated. Dad is working on formally pardoning Alexi of all wrongdoing. For
Yeah,
once,
Warden
Alexi
Cliff
seemed pretty
Antiques.
happy.
That's the
When
name
I
of the
asked him if
antique
he's
store.
interested in being a detective again,
Who
he
is
said,
Mr. Warden
"Never
Cliff?"
again." But he did say he would be happy to help anytime. Deirdre is still Deirdre. She's throwing a post-clues challenge party this weekend. Not surprisingly, Ned's been invited. And not surprisingly, Bess, George, and I have not. Not that we go anyway.
Oh, come on. You know
The
you
town
want to
hall
go
is
to
set
the
be
party,
demolished
Nancy.
soon
Don't
and replaced with a
lie.
new museum celebrating the history
It
of
seems like a
River
fun
Heights.
party,
Word
maybe.
is that Alexi may be asked to be
If you
head
call
curator.
Nancy's, if you
Now that
call
I've been
Deirdre's
publicly
friends again, they say,
exonerated, the
hey,
town has
well,
really
maybe she's
started to
mean,
show
but
its
she throws
support
great
again.
parties,
My neighbors
so
have gotten together to repair
Holly and
our
Jessica
windows,
confirm
and my house
that
is
the party is
overflowing with notes
awesome.
of support and baked treats. For me, it's just nice to no longer be public enemy
All
number
right.
one. As the winners of the Clues Challenge, I got to choose what to place in the time capsule. I'm pretty happy with what I chose to put in there. If you think about it, you'll be able to figure out what it is.
Okay, so yeah,
Or
that
you could
is
always
the
wait
end
15
of my
years
speedrun
until
for
it's
Nancy Drew,
reopened.
Alibi, and Ashes. I
Finally,
hope you
I
enjoyed it,
could've gotten
everybody.
through everything
Let me
without
know if
help
you can
from
think
the
of
best
any
friends a girl could
way
have.
to improve
And,
the
of course, your
speedrun and
wonderful gift
beat this game
basket.
even
Can't
more
wait to
quickly.
meet you. Love,
I'd be
Nancy.
interested in seeing how you could do that. Goodbye.